guys, welcome back to S&R Budget Journey. Different video today, chatty video, and this is my story and my debt confession, if you want to call it that. I was thinking whether to put this video up, whether not to. So if you're watching this, I've had the, I've done it. I've put it up. So, a disclaimer. Obviously, I'm not going to go into, I'm not going to be giving names, or any really personal stuff. Well, this is as personal as you're going to get. But, yeah, I'll talk about my story and then we're going to go on to the debt. Because you all see my videos, you all watch my videos, and this is how much I've got this week, a couple of debt pieces, and this is what I'm stuffing. On my very first video, I can't even watch it, it's just, oh, talk about shaky. So I thought I'd do an up-to-date about me, about my journey, etc. So, what I would suggest is you grab yourself a cuppa, because it might be a long one. Disclaimer, I'm not going to be giving names, just for certain reasons. But I just wanted to let you know my story from beginning to where we are now. I've given little snippets, but that's about it. And also, when I talk about Dennis, my husband, he wasn't legally my husband. We weren't married. We were planning to get married this year. But you'll understand why that happened. But I did take his name. I did change my name to his. So anyway, where do I start? So obviously I'm Sam. I'm 48. I live in the northeast. I was born down south many years ago. It seems like many years ago. Oh, and the other reason I'm doing this is I feel now that it's time to focus on me, my debts, everything. Yeah. So anyway, born down south. I left home when I was not long after I left school, to be honest. I left home and moved in with my then boyfriend, who I met when I was 15. And he was quite a bit older than me. Anyway, moved in with him and his family. You know, the usual teenager stuff. I didn't get on with my parents, and whatever they said, they were always wrong, and yeah. And so I moved in with him. Everything seemed fine to start with. Parents didn't like him. Then when I was 17, well, about, 17, I fell pregnant with my eldest. And then things started to change in the relationship. And 15 months later, I fell pregnant again with child number 2. This was in 1995. I fell pregnant the second time. And things really did start changing. I was told by my ex that we needed to get married. Wasn't right that you had a different name to what the children had, and at that age I thought, oh yeah, fine. Anyway, moving on to 3 children later. Well, after the 2 children we got married, and I didn't want to get married. I did not want to get married, but I went through with it. Then, just putting it blankly, it started hitting the fan. And roll on to after child number 4, it got that bad, and my self-esteem and everything was so low. I went into major depression and didn't do anything. He went to, well, when he did decide to start working, he would get his wages and he'd gamble with it. He used to like the gambling machines. And I can remember thinking, well, I've got no money for food. How am I going to feed the children? I managed, beg, borrow, you get it. And things just took a major turn for the worse. And then in 2000, I think it was, my 4 children went into foster care. I was in major depression. I had a violent husband, and I did what I thought at the time was best for the children. We did try and, well, I did try and get them home, which they came home. And at the start, he was very nice. And then it all went downhill again. So they were taken from us again. Now, everybody involved in all of that, it was my fault. Why didn't you leave him? How could you not know that he wouldn't change? So anyway, they went back into foster care. My eldest, I keep in contact with. We didn't have a good relationship until she turned 18. I think it was 18 when she left the care system. We started talking, and she was in a bad relationship, so I helped her at that point. Anyway, come to 2007, I got the guts to leave. I got threats, and I got, I'm not going to go into that detail of what happened then, but I managed to leave him. But knowing that leaving him and moving away from the area, I was leaving I could basically lose my children forever. I did go back for contacts every now and again when things had settled. Anyway, I started a new life in Yorkshire, met somebody else, and he was self-employed. I say, I left my marriage with absolutely nothing, just the clothes on my back, and I had to, it was difficult. So anyway, I met somebody else, again, older than me, and things started out fine. He was running his family business, and I fell pregnant. And then things started to change again. And at first I thought, oh no, this is happening. It's happening again. Anyway, things were rough. I lived in a caravan for 2 years. Then we managed to buy our first house. So we bought that. Sorry if this is waffly. It's hard to talk about, but I feel that if you want to know about me, then anyway, I moved. I wouldn't say I ended the relationship, but I needed to get away for a bit. So I moved to Scarborough, near to family, with my little boy. I had to fight tooth and nail to keep him. As you can imagine, having 4 children go into the system, I had to fight to keep my son. which I managed, and I did, and I worked with the authorities, and everything was really good. Once I'd left my partner, I left him in the April, and in the May, I found out I was pregnant with my youngest daughter, and I spoke to him, said, what do you want to do? He told me to go and get it sorted. I'm just going to leave that one there. I was fuming. Go and get it sorted, he said. So, okay. So anyway, I'm building a life on my own with a 2-year-old and being pregnant. And everything's going okay. We're starting to get there. We've got all the things. I had a flat and yeah. Then my life changed in August of 2011 when Dennis came along. And I don't know what it was, but I'm sure that we got together for a reason. I'm sure there was a reason. The universe was saying, you two need to be together. And I told him all about my marriage, my 4 children, my then 2-year-old, and being pregnant. And he turned around and said, it doesn't matter. I want to be with you. He told me all about his problems. He'd previously been married twice. Domestic violence was the reason that he left those. He wasn't doing the violence, it was his wife. But I'm not going to go into that. So we got together, and basically he was with me all through my pregnancy. He brought up my then 2-year-old as his own. He taught me, because obviously I left school at an early age. I was told by my then ex that everything I was doing wrong. It was more the mental side that got to me. I didn't trust anyone. I had a wall up that I wouldn't put down. And it was very hard. And Dennis he understood. He worked with me through it. But my ex-husband wouldn't give me a divorce. So I left him in 2007. And then in 2011, I still wasn't divorced. He told me that if he couldn't have me, then no one could. December 2011, my daughter was born. And it was the best day of Dennis's life. He doted on that little girl. Well, both of them. And then I started talking to my eldest daughter again. And he was there for her as well. Obviously, they didn't get on at first. She hated him. But anyway, it came to 2013. We were in a nice place. He was helping me with things. He showed me how to do. He didn't do things for me, but he said, I'll help you, but you've got to go and do it yourself. So anyway, then 2013, Richard came along. Now, Dennis was told that he couldn't have children. He went for tests. He did everything to find out what was happening. And cut a long story short, he would never have children. So we thought, oh, okay. So we carried on. He had his health problems. And yeah, when my youngest daughter was 4 months old, I fell pregnant with Richard, which was a big shock. We call Richard our miracle baby. And yeah, he doted on that little boy. He doted on all the children. I used to travel down south still to see my other children, but I have actually lost contact with a few of them because they've taken their dad's side. I never badmouth my ex-husband in front of any of my children, and this is another reason why I'm making this video this morning. Richard's not here. He knows some of the details, but he doesn't know everything, and he won't know everything. He doesn't watch my videos, so I don't have to worry about that. Anyway, trying to get a divorce from my ex-husband was really, really hard, and it left me in a very dark place. Not long after Richard was born, I think it was about 3 months, I found the lump in my neck, and I started going through perimenopause, and I was trying to care for Dennis, who'd been in and out of hospital multiple times. So some of you won't agree with this, and some of you might even be shocked, but I had to speak to the 2 children's biological dad, and all I said to him was, I need help. I can't do it all on my own. I'm trying to care for Dennis. I'm trying to bring up 3 small children, and I am suffering with mental health. It got to the point I didn't leave the house for 6 months. 6 months of not going out. I couldn't care for anyone. I just used to sit there and vegetate. I couldn't care for anybody. And so my ex-partner, he said, look, I can help you. Why don't they come and live with me? And losing 4 children to the system, and then another 2, I know they were back with their dad, but I have never, ever felt so much pain than what I did those times. And so they went to live with their dad, and they are still with their dad, and I keep in contact with them all the time. They come and visit, and they come and stay, and I've got a lovely relationship with them. I say it's just the 2 out of the first 4, it's the 2 youngest that I don't have a relationship with. I've tried contacting them, I just get blocked, and a lot of people believe him, my ex-husband. Anyway, 2013, sorry, I've just got Richard. I did not connect with him. I was in such a low place. I didn't leave the house. I didn't eat. I was worrying about my health as well. And Dennis got me through it. He was ill himself, but he got me through it. I was trying to get a divorce, but I kept getting told, no, I'm not doing it. Well, I didn't actually speak to him. I haven't spoken. I saw him 12 years ago, and it was the hardest thing I had to do. Anyway, moving forward, I'm with Dennis. We're trying to get a divorce from my ex so that we could get married. Dennis was my soulmate, my best friend, my security blanket. And finally, I found out that I could get a divorce through the local government. Yes, I had to pay for it, but I was willing to. And the only way that I could get those papers signed, because I didn't know where he was. I didn't know, he could have fallen off the face of the earth for all I know. And sorry, I was just seeing if I'm still recording. I didn't know where he was. So my daughter, my eldest daughter, she said, I see him sometimes. You send the papers to me, I will get them signed. So 2023, beginning of 2023, we put in the application. Luckily, he signed the forms, got sent back. So myself and Dennis were planning where we were going to get married. By this time, I had changed my surname to Dennis's name. And we were planning everything, what job Richard was going to have. And by this time, Dennis was in and out of hospital with all sorts. And so the divorce was put in, and July 2023, he went into hospital, was told he had pneumonia. Then they said, actually, no, it's not pneumonia. We don't know what it is. So he come home. 48 hours later, I had to call the ambulance. He was back in hospital. And they told him, you've got heart failure. He's always had heart problems. They said, you've got heart failure. Right, there's some tablets. Take the tablets, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of August, he passed away. And I thought the pain that I felt when I lost my children was bad. No, no way. So he never got to see me get that email in December last year. He never got to see that email saying that everything's happened, you are now legally divorced. He never got to see that. That is my story up till now. And say October last year, I decided I need to get things sorted out. And I would, if I can help one person, I've said it before, if I can help one person. My life has been up, down and bad. And I don't want people to feel sorry for me. I call myself a survivor. I've got through all of those things. The hardest thing was losing my best friend. And I've had some people say, oh, you're only in your 40s, you'll find someone else. No. I can't find someone else. I've already had my happily ever after. And it's me and Richard. Me and Richard and the children that I do speak to. So, my debt all started when I was married. He would spend in the casinos. He worked in the casino. Convenient, right? He spent all the money. Then my second partner, he had his own business, but he was living on an overdraft. When I met Dennis, yes, he had debt, but I sorted that out for him a couple of years ago, and we got him an IVA, which luckily he'd actually completed and paid off in the May of 23. One of the debts, actually, I'm going to show you my list. This is wowzer. So, the HMRC debt of 1,500. Now, this isn't actually my debt. This is my ex-husband's debt. But HMRC could not find him. I didn't have an address. I knew what area he was in, but he kept moving. So no one could find him. And I said, I am not paying it. I wasn't even in that place when all this happened. I'm not paying it. But when it came to me going on to Universal Credit, they're taking payments every month of, I think it's just over £50 they're taking for that. Now, so that was HMRC, 1,500. We've got store cards from years ago. I'm paying minimum payment on everything, apart from my overdraft. I'm paying minimum payment on everything. Store cards, 1,357. As a credit card, 1,714. Vanquish credit card, 909. Capital, 103. Monzo, 452. But that's not interest, that's just getting paid off each month. And an overdraft for 250. So in total, my debt is £6,285. Now, you all know what I get each month. I get my universal credit, I get my child benefit, PIP, because of my arthritis, my mobility, now Richard turning into my carer. So that's what I get, and I get the bereavement payment, but that will stop end of January next year. So February next year I won't be getting that. So I'll be going down to about 1,400 a month. And I'm paying all of these minimum payment every month. So now what I've started to do is a challenge. It's going to take a while. And yeah, some people might say, Sam, you've booked a cruise, you've booked a holiday. Yeah, I've never had a holiday. Since I lived at home and went on holiday with my mum and dad. Richard deserves a holiday. He's helped me care for his dad. He's helped me with my everyday life. People might think that I go out and I do this. I am in pain every day. If I didn't get out, I'd probably just vegetate on the sofa again, and I'm not going on that route. So Richard deserves a holiday. And I think saving for sinking funds, holidays, yes, I've got debt. But if I just concentrate on paying my debt, I'll probably end up in more debt, because I need the emergency fund for when things happen. I need money for school, for clothes. The person that got me working out money was Dennis. He showed me how to work everything out, and then basically just turned around and said, right, it's up to you. You can do it. I can't. But if I pay off all my debt, I will get back into debt, because I won't have the money to pay for other things. So that's why. So I've got a challenge. Come January, February, I'll have to look through my budget again and see what I can and what I can't do. But yeah, this is the debt I have. Sometimes all you'll see certain things on my budget, but this is everything broken down. And I actually got a shock when I actually saw the number. I knew I was in debt. I don't like looking at what I am owing. And yes, I've ordered off of Etsy. Yes, I've ordered off of Amazon, and I've done that because those were the low times. Those were the times where if I'm feeling low, my mental health's rubbish, and then I think, oh, that's nice, I'll buy that. That is going to have to stop. I've got a tracker for Etsy, which I will save up for. But I've got to concentrate on these as well. So what I'm going to do is HMRC, they're taking out of my universal credit. That's absolutely fine. It will take about a year, but that will be paid off. Everything else is getting minimum payments. Monzo will be paid off by November. but it's these other ones. So what I think I'm going to do is, once I've finished the challenge, which I might have to change because they're just going to take me ages, if I get it down to save £100, then what I'm going to do is go on to the lowest and sort of snowball it. So the lowest, well, no, it won't be snowballing. The lowest payment that I have to make, the £100 will go on that. Then it'll go on to the next one. Because I need to get rid of these credit cards. And if at the end I think, yes, I'm going to keep a credit card, it will be the Monzo. Because with Monzo, you make a payment on your card and it will say, how would you like to pay this back? Straight away, in a month, and it gives you up to 3 months interest free, and then it will start charging you. So if I had to keep a credit card, it would be the Monzo. I need to get the overdraft paid off. I'm actually on a 3-month interest free at the minute. I've gone over it with them and they know things are hard, so they've put everything on pause on this one at the minute. So that is my debt. That is my story. I'm sorry if it's been boring and waffly, but if you actually don't even go and look at my first few videos, it's just so embarrassing. But I feel now I'm in a better place, and I can start managing this. So yeah, that's it. Please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. Comment below. Any negative comments I get will be getting deleted. I can't be having negative comments. If you haven't got anything nice to say, just don't. Basically. I've opened up, I've come out about a lot of things. Okay, you haven't got the full details, but you've got the gist of it. And now I'm just trying to work through this, get my life in order, bring up my son so that he knows how to work money out and he can budget, because I don't teach it in school. And yeah, whether this video actually makes it up, I don't know. But yeah, please comment down below. I love chatting with you all. Please consider subscribing. Yes, I've been through it all, but let's get on with it. Pull my big girl pants up and let's start tackling this. I will be back on Friday, when I will be doing my check-in for the week. I say about debt, you might see some happy mail coming over the next couple of weeks, but that's done. But I'm not going to be purchasing anything else. I have ordered the Studio Budget Advent Calendar, but that was gifted to me by my mother and father, my mum and dad. They said, what would you like for Christmas? And I was like, oh, do you know, I'd really love an advent calendar, and knew I wanted Studio Budget. So they've given me the money for that. I've got a few binders coming. But once I've got those bits, that will be it. I've got to save up if I want to spend on Etsy, because it is addictive in Etsy. It's all of you lovely budgeters, you're making lovely stuff, and I see it on other people's channels and think, Anyway, that was my story, my debt, and I will see you all again on Friday. Bye guys.